Всем доброго аппетита, приветствую вас на своем канале. Сегодня у нас игрушка The Stanley Parable Ультра Делюкс. Игра, скажем так, сюжет в игре очень простой. Мы играем за офисного работника, который остался один в офисе. Но при этом в игре обещает очень интересные, то есть сюжетную линию, отклонение от сюжета, свободную ходьбу. Давайте посмотрим. Я, кстати, что заметил, что вот, то есть это я сейчас смотрю на экран монитора, в котором на экране другого монитора показывает, что происходит на экране другого монитора. О, нифига, там еще какой-то есть. Он там еще вдали прыгает. Ладно, блин, интересно. Так, начать игру. Лоудинг. Так, это история человека по имени Стэнли. Стэнли работал в большой компании на должности сотрудника номер 427. Работа сотрудника номер 427 была простой. Он сидел за столом в комнате 427 и нажимал кнопки. Ух ты! Инструкции проходили к нему на экран. Они указывали ему, какие кнопки нажимать, как долго и в каком порядке. Сотрудник номер 427 делал это день за днем, год за годом. И хотя кто-то может сказать, что такая работа вытягивает душу, Стэнли был рад каждой новой инструкции и чувствовал, что он создан для этой работы. Стэнли был счастлив. Однажды что-то очень... Так, что-то навсегда изменит Стэнли. То, чего он никогда не забудет. Он сидел за столом около часа и вдруг понял, что ему до сих пор не пришло ни одной инструкции. Кто не зашел дать ему задание, позвать на совещание или просто поздороваться. За все его годы в компании такого еще не случалось. Он был совсем один. Что-то явно пошло не так. Стэнли оцепенел. Довольно долго он не мог пошевелить и пальцем. Он потихоньку пришел в себя, собрался с духом, встал за стола и вышел из кабинета. Ага. О, прикольный звук нажимания на клавиатуру. Так, Стэнли. Сколько времени? Ага. Так, 429. А что, у нас одинаковый, да? Не, блин, фига, у него побольше с окном. А что мне такое не дали? Все его коллеги пропали. Что бы это могло значить? Стэнли решил пойти в переговорную. Может быть, он пропустил напоминание о встрече? Что за эксперимент офис? Он в косынку рубится? Так, прыгать нельзя, контролы. Есть контрол, можно. Еще показалось, как будто там бегает тут. Идите, у них тут офис, конечно, здоровый. Это что там за... Выйдя в две открытые двери, Стэнли зашел влево. Да нет, Стэнли пошел вправо. Переговорная была в другой стороне, и Стэнли это отлично знал. Сначала он хотел полюбоваться комнатой отдыха. Вот так вот, сюжет перестраивается. Это что за... Странный офис какой-то у них. О, да, восхитительная комната. Несомненно, стоило делать крюк, чтобы провести пару секунд в этой безупречной чудесной комнате. Стэнли просто постоял и глубоко дышал. Ну так, телека даже нет. Стэнли хотел поскорее попасть в переговорную, потому зашел в первую же открытую дверь слева. Ага. Это мне дается выбор, да? Ладно, давай. Он сделал круг через техническое помещение. Через дверь напротив вышел прямо в переговорной. Не, поехали. Стэнли решил пытать счастье. Но Стэнли не хотел возвращаться в офис. Он хотел пройти совсем и заблудиться. Так, отсюда получается налево. Слышь ты, голос за кадром, ты что делаешь? Кровища. Грязь.
Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake.
Слышь ты.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Косяк сценарий, товарищ. Так, смотрим, пошли направо, налево, вниз, налево, направо. А, да, все так, разобрался. Продолжением истории точно надо дойти сюда. Страшно что-то. Ниф!
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Да ты издеваешься? Ну а ты какая рожа?
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Может, какой-то здесь реально какие-то эксперименты, думаю, я так понимаю, проводят. Что за фигня? Я же перезапустил игру. Я перезапустил игру с самого начала. Начисто. Что должно быть? Или что-то изменилось? Да, ты точно ничего не менял в комнате с кучей мониторов? Ты что, как-то изменил сюжет или... Так, почему я тебя спрашиваю? То есть я его написал. Я же видел минут назад. Он точно не то здесь. Ладно, тогда будет приключение. Как Стэнли ищем сюжет? Так, ну тут тупик. Я предлагаю сюда. А чё? Ну ладно. Так. Ха. Интересно. О, а тут я уже был. Так, ладно. Знаешь, что приключений хуже у меня еще не было. То, что я говорю, раньше тут был сюжет. Ну а что, просто перезапустить игру еще раз? Нет, думаю, что мы как-то продвинемся, если будем раз за разом ее перезапускать. Но так тоже не пойдет. Ладно, давай пробуем. Почему нет? Да, начальник хорош.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Интересно.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Ну давай. Я так понимаю, надо вглядываться во всякие мелочи. Кофе кто-то поналил. Чё за фигня?
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
Это как так?
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Бля, я так не могу запомнить, шеф. А, все, тупик, да? Ха. А, не. А как так работает?
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so.
Я-то откуда
I
знаю?
can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Да хорош, что уже у меня амнезия скоро начнется. А, даже так? Это что, я точно не потерялся, да?
This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable adventure line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
А вот фигте.
No, I'm done. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Вот жила быта. Так, ну тут мы еще не были. Игру в пассианс фигарил. Вот дает. Так, 425. Видишь, линия. Найди сюжет. Он в той стороне. В своей судьбе. Ну а что я подумал? Если мы куда-то приходим, разве мы туда не шли? Даже если там нет сюжета. Другими словами, разве сюжет без цели, это не сюжет?
Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there.
Что происходит?
Apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
Ё-моё.
I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Ты, блин, что, прикалываешься? Чё с этой игрой не так? О, блин. Казематы.
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
Так.
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Ты издеваешься? Так, ну вот папоротник, да, земелька, у него тут мох. Растет он в тумбе. Уж я его сфоткаю, давай. Что ты такой? Рассказчик. Ты что-то мудришь, по-моему, не? Что прям происходит? Спрашиваю, с линии, ты кто рисовал так?
We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
Бля, я запутался. О! Нет, опять. Линия, как ты могла это с нами сделать, когда мы тебе доверились? Мы столько прошли вместе, а ты... Все, не могу больше. Чёрт. Перезапускаю. Да ё, хорошо перезапускать тоже.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
А если я хочу в этом? Что такое?
Now, yes, this is exciting.
Очень,
me
да.
and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Давай драконов.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Нифига тут линия развлекалась. Куда это? Опа. Выбор. Нужно принять решение. Теперь сюжет в наших руках. Нельзя упускать такую возможность. Мне даже нужно подумать минутку. Просто входи пока кругами. Так известно, что всякая дверь куда-то ведет. А это значит, что там, куда мы хотим попасть, есть обратная дверь, ведущая сюда. А это, в свою очередь, значит, что наш пункт назначения соответствует исходной точке за обратной дверью. То есть сюда, да? Поэтому начав с правой двери, спросим себя, придет ли нас правая дверь туда, куда мы пойдем? Поскольку ответ очевидно «да», то нам, несомненно, нужна правая дверь. Логика всегда побеждает. Вперед, Стэнли, навстречу судьбе. Я хочу сюда. Не хочу вправо, хочу влево. Блин. Выиграй. Так, это что такое?
The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to
перезапускай игру еще раз, а? Если не хочу забывать. Так, возьму и решу память только потому, что так написано на этой штуке, стене.
Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it.
Ой, таймер, что я? Остановился? То есть мы смогли разорвали цикл? Нарушили все, что было в этом плане? Как нам это понять? Кто-нибудь придет? Чудо случится? Ну, ладно. Просто подождем. Вообще-то, в этой степени это тоже сюжет, ты согласен? Не совсем уверен, пришли ли мы все еще в пути, но все всегда говорят, что дело не в том, что куда ты идешь, а в самой дороге. А что, надеюсь, мы в дороге. Скоро узнаем, так ведь? Со временем. А пока если у тебя вдруг есть... Зашибись. Ох, тяжко мне. Да хорош ты, начальник.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Так. Вариантов нам вообще не оставили, да?
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Опа. Закрыто.
When Stanley came to a set of two open
Тут открыт дверь, Стэнли вошел в левую. Ну, давайте, раз в прошлый раз вправо сходили. Так. Но и тут никого не оказалось. Стэнли не поверил своим глазам. Решил пойти наверх в кабинет начальника, надеясь найти этого ответа там. О. Стэнли зашел в подсобку, но там ничего не было. Поэтому он развернулся и пошел дальше. Ладно, вон тут что-то есть.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
А я хочу остаться.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Нет, Стэнли пошел вниз.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming!
Я сплю, закричал он. А это всего лишь сон.
Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently and invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up.
Я еще проснуться, подумал он.
I'm through with this.
Хватит с меня этого сна, пусть он закончится. Я хочу вернуться на работу и нажимать на кнопки. Мне больше ничего не надо. Хочу, чтобы у меня была квартира, жена и работа. Пусть все будет так же, как было раньше. Нормально жить, нормально я. Все будет хорошо. Я в порядке. Так, Стэнли, проснись. Не помогло, да? Разбудите меня, меня зовут Стэнли, у меня есть начальник, свой кабинет, я настоящий. Блин.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Чего?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Хотите сказать, что это конец? Интересное завершение сюжета.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Ага, еще сначала,
What did it
ладно.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Интересно.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow. Yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Так.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Ха. Интересно, интересно. Так, не прыгайте отсюда.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Блин, я думал, нет. Я думал, он полетит.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Так, ладно, потому что сюжету. Так, теперь не прыгаем.
When Stanley came to a set
Нет,
of 2
вправо.
open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Так.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Не ври. Соврешь. Типа не, сейчас не остановишься, что никогда.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult.
Куда
But
ты?
the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Для кого?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Так. Опа.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this.
Алло, алло.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife?
Чё за...
Who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Слышь ты, я ж тебя найду, блин.
This is
Женщина.
a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Что? Доброго, то что через 27. Нажмите на своей клавиатуре.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
G. По.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Нет. Чё выбито не дверь? Все заперто, блин. Холодильник даже не открыть. Ладно.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Так, посмотреть ТВ. Ну-ка, чё по телеку?
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth.
Так оно и было.
The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Так, нам здесь, чтобы приготовить ужин. Чё, еще поедим?
As he wandered through
Ух,
his
нифига.
fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Интересно. Нам теперь, чтобы рассказать детям сказку. Ну-ка.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Нажмите, чтобы сказать жене, что любите ее. Бля, если не хочу. Дайте выйти. Блин.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Ха. Какой-то странный чай тут не подсыпали.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me?
О.
How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Ты чё? Так, наверное, здесь, чтобы не задавать вопросов, ладно?
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time.
Может быть,
And I
может
tried
быть.
again,
Чего?
and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Что происходит? Ты у меня или в игре? Блин, так не пугай.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Так, ну тут одна дверь так осталась. Я пошел направо. Давайте сейчас снова налево сходим.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Так. Опять переговорная.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
А, да, вот мы наверх еще не ходили к боссу. Тошно.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Это как-то он. Пиджак надел покруче. О, здесь все по-другому. Открылось. Так, тут сварить, так понимаю, надо бы.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845.
Так, 2845.
But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2845, ладно. Пять.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Ты знаешь, ты меня обманываешь. 2584. Вы?
2845.
Вина. Так. Неправильно. Что делать?
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's
Чтоб тебя,
emergency
но вдруг сработала
override
функция
kicked
аварийного
in,
открывания.
and the door just opened all by
Ой, что
itself. And
происходит?
Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Фига себе. Дверка открылась. Ой, что мне это не нравится. Ой, мне это не нравится. Ладно, на мужика. Это непонятно, на самом деле, игрушка чуть-чуть.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Так. А. Не, обратно.
Never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and
Я
went
просто
back
хочу проверить, работает он или не работает. Черт.
Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
Так. А, ну да, я так и заходил, ладно. А, нифига, все перестало работать. Ха.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
Фу-фу-фу, как некультурно. Так, чё так, вы нас выпустите, не выпустят? Не выпустят, ладно. Минишка. Не ход. Что подвинут? Ладно, какой там? 2, 4, 5, 8. 2, 4, 8, 5. Фигня. О!
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
Ха-ха. Непонятная игрушка, непонятная.
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
Чё?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Так, выход. Я на выход.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it,
А выхода нет, да?
that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Так, а если я обратно пойду? Схожу в комнату с монитором, что произойдет? Да, дают шанс выйти обратно, это хорошо.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Так. А, прикол.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Так. А. Любопытно, любопытно. Так, еще нажимать. А.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Ага, ты хочешь меня уничтожить, чтобы получить эту штучку? Нет, спасибо. Так. О, лифт. Поехали.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Хочется терпеть, да.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Фига себе система. Что, блин, за чудотворение? А могу туда спуститься? Ничего такого не происходит. Залезь обратно. Допустим, вот что за кнопка? А, я по порядку должен нажать, да? Да, походу. Первая. Вторая. Третья. Я только что же видел. Не понял, куда девалась. Блин. Хм. Так, как мне наверх попасть? Да ладно, пройдешь, что ты? Бред. Откройте. Так, 3 кнопки. 4-я, она наверху, по-любому. Так, ничего не понимаю. Так, 4-ю я не могу найти. Надо сказать, что там наверху, только как мне достать? Если 5-й сорт нажму. Так, не открылись. А, подожди. Не понимаю. А. Что происходит?
When at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Он задумался. Так, ну ладно, давайте чай выключить.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the control.
А, вот так.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about.
Серьезно, нажать.
Where we're going. What all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated.
Ах ты.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich.
Да помолчи ты, блин.
To see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left.
Так.
But I'm enjoying this so much. You know
Что
what?
делать-то?
Hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going
Так,
or
один
what you're
нажми.
supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons.
Опять
these
зеленый
colored
тип должна
ones,
быть.
or maybe this big red button. Or this door.
Синий, да.
Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
Подожди. О, я понял, короче, понял. Двойка фиолетовая.
That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along.
Так, тройка синяя.
You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I will watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
Что?
Take a look at the clock, Stanley.
Не
That's
хочу.
30 seconds you have left to struggle.
Что происходит?
30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces.
4,
Will you
2,
cling
7.
desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice.
А,
Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in.
Что происходит?
Say, happily ever up.
Что за фигня? Офигеть, это что сейчас было? Ага.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Да, интересная, конечно, игрушка, нифига себе. Это получается, над нами кто-то, короче, проводит реальные эксперименты тут, понимаете ли. Блин, бедный Стэнли. Ладненько, давайте, наверное, на этом сегодня закончим. И, конечно,
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Я, если честно, думал, что на самом деле у меня так и будет продолжаться тут перезапуски. И все, что дойдем до такого, что, блин, надо будет, короче, побороться за свою жизнь, попытаться. Ну, это, конечно, жесткий конец. Ладно. Что ж, всем спасибо за внимание. Подписывайтесь на канал, комментируйте, ставьте лайки. Жду следующих видео. Видео будут продолжаться. Можете мне, кстати, посоветовать какую-нибудь хорошую игрушку такую. Что-нибудь такое эпичное. Что ж, ладно. Всем спасибо. И пока.